Hi guys, it's Colin from Run Venture. It's been a while since I've done a video or anything, so I'm just going to do one very quickly off the cuff now. Question we keep getting asked in store, online, emails, etc. is how long do running shoes last? Yeah, that's the key thing. You want to know when, if you need to replace your running shoes. There's lots of variables. So what the manufacturers always say, sort of up to 500 miles, 3 to 500 miles. So if you think about that, that's for anything between 4 and 6 months. That's only 20 miles a week. Some of you guys out there I know are doing 20 miles in one go. So 20 miles a week, that's 4 to 6 months. That's generally what the manufacturers are saying. But there are lots of variables on that. Variables that include where you run. If you're running on hot tarmac, particularly in the weather as it is now, bearing in mind we're in June, I think then they will wear slightly quicker. If you have a running style that is big on heavy impact, heel, etc., and you're a bigger person, the weight, the pressure going through can make the shoe degrade far quicker. Also, if you're using a road shoe just for, on the trails, etc., the uppers can degrade a lot quicker. So these are all factors to think about, and also how you care for them as well. Some shoes last longer than others. Something I will say on this as well is that if you're racing on a track or a 5k on road, etc., you probably want a slightly harder shoe, traditionally racing flats as they were before all this carbon fibre stuff came out. So potentially, if you've got a heavily cushioned shoe you've used for your weekly mileage and then it is starting to feel a little bit harder, maybe relegate those to a racing shoe, for example, just to extend the life. Also to extend the life of the shoes, and this will sound like I'm trying to sell you more shoes, but it is sort of a good economy to have a plethora, 2 or 3 running shoes, and rotate them. If you're in the same shoe day after day, it will not recover unless you say you lose it for your long runs, your sort of trail runs, your fast runs, even if you are walking to work in it. Yeah, so sometimes these miles don't get recorded, and I see this all the time. I've only done 400 miles in these running, but actually they live in it. So I'm in a pair of running shoes now at work, so generally that counts as miles, steps, etc. And generally these are running shoes. They're not really designed for day-to-day kicking about, kicking a football. That's definitely a no. So things to think about on those. But if you've got a few pairs of shoes that you can rotate, some that you use for trails, some you use for racing, some for use general mileage, some for use long slow plods, etc., coaching if that's what you do, then that's good. So having a selection of running shoes rather than just one that you rely on, I know that financially not everybody can afford that, that's also a good thing. So going back to the original question, how long do shoes last? How do you know? So look at mileage, Strava's that, but take into account, like I said, how many miles you use them other than running as well. But let's go for 5 things to look for. First thing, if you start to notice you getting different aches and pains in your body, things that you've not really had before, that one of the things to look at is the state of your shoes. It could be that you've gone over your training sort of regime and you've pushed it a little bit too much. That could be a factor. It might not be the shoes. Have you changed your running style? Things like that. Have you changed your job? Have you changed the car? Things like that. But also do check your running shoes. If you're getting aches and pains you've not had before, okay, then that's one way to look at your running shoes. If you are starting to get blisters that you've never had before, check your socks. That's a cheaper alternative than changing your shoes. But if you're starting to get blisters and things, maybe the shoes have got harder, maybe it's become misshaped and it's starting to rub the foot in different places. Third one is sore feet. Sore soles of your feet, up and down. Are you generally getting sore feet? Does that mean that the cushioning, if you want a cushioning shoe, you're not into a harder shoe, and your feet are starting to burn and things like that? Again, check mileage, check running style. Are you impacting more? But that's another key thing as an indicator that your shoes need replacing. Then we look at the shoes itself. Is a trail shoe. Is the sole worn down? Is it flat? Generally with a shoe, The outer coating is the harder wearing rubber, etc. If that's all gone and exposed the white midsole, that's a softer sole. So here's the rubber protection here. There's less on this one because this is a sort of a faster, lightweight shoe. If that's gone and exposed the grip, etc., then it will deteriorate very quickly. So that's a good indicator as well. Also, are we starting to get holes? You can see these done quite a few miles. Starting to get holes in certain places. Okay, misshapen things. That's another good indicator. You don't want your toes pointing out to the side. So that's another good indicator. If you're getting holes in them, if your sole's worn down, if the heel's all collapsed, if you're getting holes and things in here which exposing some shoes have got a big plastic cuff and it's starting to chafe away at your Achilles, that's another good indicator. So there's the 5 sort of things that you need to look for. One thing I will say is that replace your running shoes before your current running shoes have given up the ghost. Okay, imagine, and I've said this to many people before, imagine you suddenly exchange your car, you part exchange it, you get rid of your old rust bucket, you leave that with a dealer, you drive off a new car, you set off the forecourt, happy as Larry with a new car, you go to indicate and the windscreen wipers come on. The chair's in the wrong position, the heater's in the wrong place, the radio's on a different station. You may have gone to electric windows rather than the handheld, if they still do those in certain cars. It's different. Running in a new pair of shoes, even if it's gone up a model from, say, the 20 to the 21 in certain shoes, a different upgrade, it will feel slightly different. Okay, it's better to go to your old shoes and transition into your new shoes by running your old one some of the time, then the new one, and gradually weaning the old one away and bring the new one. Also, try and replace your shoes if you've got trail and road shoes. For financial point of view, replace them apart. Don't come and say, I want a new pair of road shoes and a new pair of trail shoes at the same time. Okay, big expense. Stagger it a little bit. Buy your road shoes, a couple of months later, trail shoes. By the time your road shoes are giving up your ghost, your trail shoes are still going. Again, keeping the cash flow for you at home with the pennies, etc. better. Okay, hope that all makes sense. I know I was a little bit off the cuff rambling, but I've been asked loads and loads of time. I can't say a shoe will last 500 miles because you will get to 499 miles and say these have not lasted. Okay, it's not written anywhere. That's just an estimate. Okay, some lighter racing shoes don't last as long. They're designed for racing. Okay, we all know shoes don't last as long as we want them to, but that's just the world we live in. Okay, guys, running is a sport we choose. Yeah, and shoes are the most important thing. Either that or run barefoot. Okay, nice to speak to you guys. See you on the race circuit soon. Mind how you run.